and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of a little show we call the Gridiron. This is the greatest, and I say the greatest, I mean the greatest fictitious sports show in the land. Nobody can do fictitious sports like we do. Nobody wants to tackle those subjects. Nobody wants to get into that lane. And here we are. It is I, the guy they call the Midnight Rider. In the background, I got my producer, the best producer in the country, baby. The big guy, KG. Big guy, talk to me real quick.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, baby?
Nothing much. Just enjoying this, and I love your attire for the day. It gives me hope for the future.
Yeah. You know, this is because of the game today, not because of the team you play with on college football. We do know this, right?
Well, hey, look, if I'm not mistaken, I think you worn that hat every Saturday, and since Notre Dame has been on a win streak, in the college football game as well as in real life. So keep wearing that hat because, yeah.
No. Last week I had my cap stuff on. I had the Caps hat and the red. I rocked the red last week. I need to rock the red Sunday because we're getting up on hockey season anyway. But yes, that's neither here nor there. So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know what's going on, we are the Sideline Junkies. This is in conjunction with Clear Production Sports. What we do is we do a show based on a league of the guys doing a dynasty in the college football. I'm sorry, the NCAA college football video game. All right. It's a bunch of guys. Some of them are from our shows. Some of them are friends of the show. Some of these guys have been doing this league for 20 years, playing alongside each other. So you see guys knowing tendencies. You see guys knowing a little bit of everything about each other. And then you see some people that are brand new to the league. Before I even go further, shout out again to our guy Ross Rudder. Hopefully your gameplay situation can change and you can get back in. I know you retired, but we miss you, bro. Shout out to Thanos. We're also trying to get an interview with Coach Darnell, coach of Michigan. I know he's got a tight schedule. You know, he's on the recruiting trail. He's out here playing games, game planning. So if we can get him in, it'll be a plus. But we're not sure if that's going to happen today on today's show. But what we do know is going to happen is we're going to recap the last couple of weeks. KG and I are going to have a little dialogue. I don't know, is the X-Man around?
I think he's indisposed this present moment. I haven't heard from him.
Cool. I mean, I know he got a tight schedule. I know the champagne was popping because they were in Kansas State last. I think the last game was in Kansas State, so I know he might be celebrating. So I'm not worried about getting him online, but if we can get him, we can get him, and if not, I understand because when you win big ball games, your time commitment changes. So let's go ahead and kick this show off, ladies and gentlemen. Again, college football 25. It's called the Gridiron, and for some reason I can't get my hat to go. There it is. All right. For some reason I couldn't get my hat to go straight. College football 25, fictitious show. Here we're gonna start the recap starting now. Week 7. Boom. Week 7 was a tough week for the teams in the league. We had the Maryland Terps, who were ranked 11 going into this ball game, lose to Nebraska. Alabama did Alabama things. They beat Vandy. Colorado took it on the chin. They lost to West Virginia. Notre Dame came out and put teams from the Big Ten on notice as he destroyed Penn State 35-0. This week's slobber knocker, actually it's a KG shootout special. Michigan wins 20-17 over USC. And then my boy Jimmy wins 27-0 over Wisconsin. And then Miami got upset by NC State 24-3. So it was a tough week for the teams in the league. We lost, looks like 3 ball games here, but we won some big ball games at the same time. Week 7, it's just setting us up because this playoff picture, as you're going to see when we get closer to it, the playoff pictures are starting to fall into place. And we're already about to start ending our second season of this NCAA game that we play. So let's go ahead and jump into week 8 as we talk about it. Week 8 was something special. Oregon just was disrespectful. Oregon looks like they just lined up. I think Oregon had 12 people in the box. I don't even know if they guarded receivers in this game. It was real ugly all the time, the whole time. Alabama beats Tennessee. Texas beats Florida. Notre Dame beats USC. So USC has had a hard time in our league. Miami beats Stanford. The Terps took out Wisconsin, and it looked like Colorado took the cheese. They lost. They fell into the trap. They lost 41-3 to TCU. Tough ball game.
Can I say something about that TCU game?
Go ahead.
Even though Coach Ross retired, I think this is a matchup that everybody was looking forward to. And I think with his retirement a week ago, real time, 4 weeks ago, game time.
Mm-hmm.
I think with his retirement, that was indicative of the program that he was building down at TCU, because those guys came out and they won one, not for the Gipper. They won one for Thanos there, and that was a drubbing. And I told Xavier, I said, you got to understand, these kids are they're upset. They lost their coach. They're sad.
Right.
So they're emotional. They're going to go in here and they're going to play hard. Oh, no, they're not going to play. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it shows you know what it was?
Thing.
With all the things that happened during that time frame, the kids at TCU, they finally snapped. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, just leave it right there and let it sit and percolate. All right, week 9, baby.
Week 9 recap.
Take your time, baby. Week 9. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here's another ball game, and I need Jimmy. I don't know who hurt him, but he might need counseling, man. I mean, the way and the levels of disrespect that he shows his opponents. He won this ball game 71-20. Was it 28?
28.
All right, my bad. I got old man eyes. Yeah, it was disrespectful in all forms, shape, forms, and fashions. I think the Waterboy blitz form. I think the guy selling popcorn in section 213 blitzed twice and got 2 sacks. Yeah, if you were on this team and you were the walk on, if you was Rudy, whoever Oregon's version of Rudy is, he had 2 sacks in this ball game. It was very disrespectful. Miami 35-3 over Florida State. Notre Dame. Here goes another person being disrespectful. 70-17 over the Naval Academy. I feel sorry for Pete Medhurst because he probably called this game, even though it's a fictitious game, and his feelings were hurt probably by the way you disrespect the Navy. The Maryland Terps 17-6 over Illinois. Michigan goes 35-7 over Purdue. Alabama 28-6 over Oklahoma in the big ball game of the week. In the words of the greats, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Colorado recovers from their disappointing loss a week before and thumps. Well, they don't thump because it's a close ball game, but they win a tough ball game at Utah over the University of Utah, 36-34. If memory serves me correct, that went into overtime, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so that ball game was tight the whole time. I think it involved actually. This was a game I was really proud of X because he actually managed his clock down the stretch to get himself in position to tie the ball game up and get into overtime. It was one of those moments where huge growth for watching somebody grow as a coach in their position. And then I also see Texas on here. Texas wins 38-33. So week 9, we had some ebbs and flows. We had some blowouts. It looks like a couple teams are just starting to fall into their identity. And one identity I noticed across the league is a lot of teams are running the ball, and they're running it heavy in this league, and they're setting up the passing game. I think right now the free flyers are Jimmy and BJ. So that's Jimmy at Oregon, BJ at Maryland. They're your frequent flyers. They're going to pass the ball, but everybody else is a ground, a run game heavy program. So without further ado, and let's not hold you up in week 9. Let's go ahead and move ourselves over to week 10.
Before we go to week 10,
Oh,
we got a comment. And Matty Ice checking in because Matty Ice plays with Kent State. We were trying to get Matty Ice in, but he wasn't having it. He said, "What level do you guys play games against the computer on? I'm still on varsity with Kent on on year 4 and struggle with any team in the 80s. I'm just afraid I would get waxed. I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
All American.
It should be All American. It should be All American.
Yeah, it's All American.
Because Heisman's the top. And, Heisman's like playing on All Madden. You don't do that.
Right. I mean, and Matt, you're not limited to Kent State. You can just find your program. If you want to level up in program-wise, I mean, you can go to Oklahoma State. You can go to Tennessee. You can go somewhere else where you find an offense that's intriguing. You don't have to go with the alma mater. I know that's where your heart is, but, sometimes the heart, seeks other things. So if that's what you seek, go somewhere else, man.
See, I'm like Matty Ice. Matty went to he went to Kent State. So you're going to play with the alma mater. Now, I've been a Notre Dame fan since 1989. I've never played college football with any other team. And when we were talking about this league, it was between me and Ross. And me and Ross talked it out. He was like, you go ahead and take Notre Dame. And I was like, are you sure? Because I'm willing to go with any other team. And I had a couple of teams down the pike, and I was like, I can go with Penn State.
Let's talk about this. All right, so you were willing to go with any other team. So say Ross was a hard ass, and he's like, yo, I can't play with any other team but Notre Dame in this league. Almost like a recruit, almost like a transfer portal situation. What would have been your other options?
Penn State.
Okay. Solid program.
Really and truly, I was thinking before this game came out, we were talking, I was thinking about were they going to do it like the old NCAA footballs where you had the Division I AA, you had the SWAC. I was going to Grambling immediately.
Okay.
But they didn't have that. So Penn State was the number one on the list if I didn't take Notre Dame.
Okay.
Tennessee.
That's a great program. That's a great offense. I think, like whenever the sun decides to shine on me and I get blessed with the game system, I think that's where I would go. I would either go because of the Josh Heupel offense, and he and I have several offensive concepts that are similar. That would be a school I would look at. I would also look at like Ole Miss, because that's where what's our boy Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. Like I like places where the offensive mind is creative and they do lots of things outside the box. An outside school would be a school like either Boise State or San Diego State, because they always keep a running back. And I'm looking at this league, and running backs matter. So,
and Mizzou was also one.
So, Mizzou, that was actually. I apologize. That was my first choice. I forgot about them. Yes, Mizzou, because their defense is electric. Their offense is good. You got a solid quarterback. You can probably recruit well, but the defense is going to be good from the top to the bottom. Yeah, I forgot about that school. Sorry about that. I made it all about me. There's no I am team, but as my boy Kobe says, there is a big me.
Matty Ice said my last game against Syracuse, I threw 9 damn picks. Matty, don't feel bad.
Hey, Matty. Those are, if you look at the world right, those are non-completions because it's 9 times the ball didn't hit the ground.
I got an offline dynasty, Matty, and I threw 5 picks against Penn State. Only thing that bailed me out of that was my defense, and I wound up beating Penn State 37-35. They were up 35 to 30.
Game for?
Huh?
So how long you threw 5 picks?
Mm-hmm.
There must have been a whole bunch of
They were early
pick drops.
Yeah, because I was trying. Okay. They were up, and I was trying to fight back. And every time I get close, I throw a pick, and then I wind up. I held them to a field goal. Then they got me for a safety, and it was bad, man. It was bad all around the board.
Okay.
BJ said All-American, and Matty Ice said, "Oh, you know me." And we may have a transfer coming. We may have a user moving to Penn State soon.
Okay. Boss, if you're free, I put the chat in the I put the StreamYard in the chat of the league. So B, if you want to jump in for a quick minute, you got a big win this week, so let's do it. And if I couldn't do a better segue because I don't do radio professionally or TV professionally, but that was a segue too. KG.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got one job.
God Almighty!
I'm trying to work too many angles here.
Just the ta-da! How's the family? No, ladies and gentlemen, week 10. Let's take care of the stuff, and then we'll get to the main event of this whole weekend. Actually, there were 2 main events. Almost like WrestleMania on 2 nights. So Texas beats Arkansas 47-25. Miami takes out Louisville in a slobber knocker 10-3. Notre Dame opens up the woodshed and brings in Syracuse 56-14. Bama, who let the dogs out there? Bama 49-7 over LSU. Oregon continues its roads of destruction. 42-0 over Indiana. Now we get to the games that matter. Not that all games don't matter, but this is a big game. Colorado goes into Kansas State, pulls out a tough victory, 17-14. This game is indicative of what Colorado is. Colorado decided to run the ball down their throats. 135 yards rushing, looks like, compared to K-State only having 2. So that automatically tells you where this ball game was won. It was won in the trenches. Passing yards, K-State had 163. Colorado had 110, but Colorado doesn't dabble in its passing game as is a major. They minor in passing, major in rushing. If you understand it, you understand it. If you don't, and you never went to college, then my bad. That went over your head. But this ball game came down to the end. And again, the situation where Colorado managed the clock, won the ball game late. But let's get to the other game, the other part of this main event. And that was the Maryland-Michigan game. 2 user coaches going head-to-head. Coach Darnell versus Coach BJ. I enjoyed this ball game immensely. I actually watched this last night because I knew I had to get back to it because it kind of fell in my mentions after the fact. Like I was busy at work or whatever, so I couldn't see this game live and on time. But when I saw I saw KG's reaction, so then I knew I had to get here. And I don't want to bring in Coach right now. So, Coach, give me 1 second. Let me finish this ball game before I bring you in. So late in this ball game, I think the bloggers in Michigan are going to roast Coach Darnell about the end of this ball game because he had a situation where I think I would have taken a knee and landed the field goal directly but I know what he was doing. And I'm gonna ask him when I bring him in a second here. Coach, I know you're in the background watching this, but Coach got a thing where he wanted to go for the kill. So he wanted to run the stretch to Savannah and take it to the house. But unfortunately, BJ was sitting on that stretch a little bit, and so he ended up having to kick a field goal from the outside hash, and his kicker couldn't get it through. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the coach of the Michigan Wolverines, Coach Darnell. I don't mean to put you in the spot, but
no, you're good. You're good.
I think I was smelling what the Rock was cooking.
What you want to know about the last play?
Let's start with the week. I mean, you had a couple good games during the week.
Oh
Savannah,
man.
your kid
After the Washington game, I kind of struggled with USC. I mean, they brought it to me. Now, mind you, last season I kind of handled them. I don't know what happened. I mean, I had to, and I think I had that. It was like 10 seconds, and I just threw it up to the post pattern, and I see he was wide open, checked by the safety. When the safety was backpedaling, that's when I threw it to the post. The only thing I was thinking about was, okay, if I catch him on the post, I catch it like out of bounds, and I could set up for a field goal. I didn't know all that was going to happen. He broke the tackle, he went to the house and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we had the Purdue game. We kind of handled them. They came in the game undefeated. You know what I'm saying? So I was worried about that. But that last game, that Maryland game, I got to give it up to Brian, man. Great game, man. Great game.
And you know what? It started out beautiful for you because you got
out 14.
You got 13-0. Did you miss a kick?
The same way that I started like that, I started out with the Texas game in the playoffs. Yeah, I didn't miss a kick. It got blocked.
Okay.
They got blocked. So the big difference in that game was the special teams.
Yep.
That was it was the special teams. He blocked the extra point. I was up 20-14 with like under 2 minutes left. Now I hit that field goal. I'm up by 2 scores. He blocked it. He ran it for the TD.
Let's talk about that. Cause did you go conservative? Because when I watched the game back after you guys played it, of course, in my real time, I was like, "Oh, he gonna go for this," because that's the kind of guy.
I was gonna go for it, and then it went to the 2-minute warning. Gotcha. I said, "I'm gonna kick the field goal." Oh my God, I should have went for it. You know what I'm saying? Because my defense was playing good because I was down. Actually, he made one of the best catches in the corner between 2 defenders. A post corner for the touchdown. Yes. Man, I couldn't believe he caught that.
Yes, sir.
Holy cow, man. That was, so he was up by the half. And I don't know if it was like the beginning of the 4th quarter or it was like the middle of the 3rd quarter, but my stud corner, he should be a first-round pick. Now he picked that interception off and took it to the house. I was saying to myself, okay, now I just got to play defense on him, which I did get the ball back. And I'm trying to remember this because I know my quarterback missed on my tight end wide open. He just overthrew him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that may be from the field goal. But when he blocked it, I got back down there. This is the thing. You're right. I ran to the left when the hash was already going towards the left. And I should have ran it up the middle. I was so already, I don't know, off with the field goal because he already blocked the extra point. He blocked a field goal. It just messed up my timing. Even at that angle, I'm saying to myself, okay, I can hit this. I just didn't send it a little bit to what you call it, but to the right. But I got to give up to Brian, man. Great defense. He slowed my running back down. He did. Yep. Even though I think he ran 100 yards, but it didn't feel like it. Let me tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great game. It was a great
No,
game.
I totally agree, dog. I mean,
Yeah.
when I watched it, I was like, why is he like he was? And this is probably because you guys have played 20 years of games together. Like he kind of knew your tendencies, and he was sitting on certain stuff, and it was perfect because it made you adjust. But I love your running back, Kavana.
Oh yeah.
That kid's gonna be a special. He's gonna be a stud.
I got two more years on him. And what I love about this game was that, and I try to tell, and that's facts. Football is about chess, because when I was up 13-0, I knew he was doing a lot of RPOs, and I think I got an interception off of that. I said I'm gonna blitz him. I was playing man coverage, and my linebacker came down, took the pick, the RPO, and took it to the house. The thing was, he started figuring out, okay, I'm not playing the sidelines. You know what I'm saying? He was hitting me with out patterns.
Right.
And Brian is smart. He figured out it, and then I had adjusted that. And that's what I love about football. It's all about chess. You know what I'm saying? But it came down, like I said, at the end of the day, it came down to that field goal. I missed it, and that's how it goes.
But you know what? That's the beauty of this thing. Like, I love you guys don't understand my part of it. I'm not playing right now. I'm inactive.
Yeah.
But when I watch the games, I'm a fan. And like as a fan, you sit back and you understand what people want to do. Like, I understand you and the dude from Miami. Y'all run a different style. And then the house of Giddens, they run a different style of offense.
Yeah, they do.
You know, they run like they run heavy, but their run game is different than yours. And
hey, look, I already peeped it out. The family, I call them the family. They got the same offense. They got the same style of offense. They got the same offense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
it's like the Shanahan tree. They run the same.
That's it. Yep. Yeah. Yep. You're right. You know what I'm saying?
And then the other tree we have is BJ and Jimmy, because they're the pass game tree.
Yep. They sure is.
Like it's fun to watch and sitting back, because now I ain't gotta worry about stopping nobody. And I ain't gotta worry about calling no plays. All I get to do is just sit back and be a fan of it. And I want to thank you guys, for just letting me have this space and doing this and operating in this. And Coach, I want to thank you for coming on. Anything you want to do? Go ahead.
I've been trying to get on for a while. I know last week I had went out with my girl and stuff. But like I said, man, you know what? I need to get on here. I need to get on here and stuff. And I love the podcast. I love what y'all doing, man. I really appreciate that. And it makes the whole gameplay and everything realistic. You know what I'm saying? And fun to play. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate it. And I listen to y'all, John, every Saturday. 11 o'clock, everybody.
Yes,
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, baby. It's college game day and it's us, baby. But no, and the reason I wanted to do this, because I wanted to be extra, because I think you guys put a lot of energy and effort into it, and I just wanted to have some fun with it. I'm a creative mind naturally, and I was like, yo, KG, if you don't mind, let's just do because every league I've been in, I've done something, and like people have added on. So like when I used to be in the fantasy football league, I used to do this thing called the Genius Take. And the Genius Take was me recapping the games the week before. So now if you look at it, if you do a fantasy football league, they give you a recap of the week before. Okay. So I was like, I felt like I was ahead of everything. So now let's just be ahead of this. And let's just do it this time for ourselves. So yeah, man. Let's have some fun. Hopefully I can get on the sticks with you guys here in the near future. But thank you for your time, brother. Anything you want to say?
Hold on. Before you let this dude go. Hold on. Let me say this for everybody to see this and everybody to hear. The way my offenses ran at this present point, after 20 some odd years of this, almost close to 25, I used to come in and I had like the explosive offense. I'm talking one play down the field, touchdown. And if it didn't work, I didn't have anything else, and I didn't have anything else loaded in the chamber. It was a sawed-off shotgun. Then I met this gentleman right here who sat me down one day at his house and was like, you can't keep playing like that. You got running backs. You got plenty of receivers. Start putting a drive together and start putting everything on your defense.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a 7-play drive that goes 75 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I became more methodical with the game.
Yeah.
And it's because of him that I did that.
Yeah.
So this offense, everybody said, oh man, your offense is so basic, it's because of the run. Well, you think I learned how to run the ball? I knew how to run the ball before, all the way back to Tecmo Bowl and NES play action. I knew how to run the ball. How I perfected it, playing this dude right here, I learned how to run the stretch. I was an in-between the tackle runner at first. Now I can run the stretch. And when I run the stretch, don't let me get the corner. It's over after that. It's done. So I got to thank him for that. That's why Notre Dame is doing what it does the last 2 seasons. So I thank you for that, Coach Darnell.
Hey, man. Hey, no problem, man. And a lot of people get on me about the stretch play. And this is the thing I love about the stretch play. It's a play that, and I'm going to tell y'all, that, like I said, the secret, don't celebrate in the backfield. But it's if you, and I got a different style of running. You got to watch certain people, and you got to watch your linemen how they block. And I still haven't got this game running style down pat. I say by season 4, the numbers I put up with the running back, you're gonna see how it is. But the stretch play, best run play in the game, because if you see something, you can run it to the inside, or you can take it to the outside. That's why the stretch is one of the best run plays in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. It's just a certain way. Huh? I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, it's funny to me because when I watched you with Kavana, you had a certain luxury and comfort with Edwards, and you can run the same run with Kavana that you run with Edwards. Edwards would get 50, Kavana gets 35, because you haven't found that like there's a thing, and it might be his acceleration, it might be something in his pickup.
I'm gonna tell you something, especially in that Maryland game, and Edwards was special. You know what I'm saying? He was special, but I'm underestimating. I'm gonna be honest with you. In all the Maddens I played, I had one guy that was 99 speed, 99 acceleration. Because I feel like that when I look at a defensive end, and this takes seconds. When you got your tackle blocking and you can see that he's about to get off his left shoulder, you got to cut it inside. But my running back's so fast, I realize I can, even if he beat that tackle, I can get around him.
Yep.
I can get around him. And that's what I need to learn from him. I only got one more season with him. You know what I'm saying? So
the other part on that was whoever his corner is, that left corner, when you was running that stretch, or I guess he would be the right corner on their defense, that kid was feeling like it was nobody's business. Like he was selling out. He could go to the league just over his run support, the way he was feeling. Because there was one time you ran the toss, and I could tell in your mind you was thinking, all I gotta do is get outside of this end, and I'm gonna turn it up and let go. And that kid was dead. Like you cut, and it was like boom. And I was just like, it's that corner, that cornerback and their run support saved B in that ball game.
You know what? And another key was he had a star defensive tackle, which I didn't know. He was busting through the line. I don't know who that guy was. I stopped running inside. I said, man. And then if you notice in the game, I flipped my play because I wanted to flip it to the opposite side. So I said, okay, I ain't running over there. Because my lineman, none of my linemen can block this guy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it you know, at the end of the day, it was a beautiful game. So I might not be playing for the Big Ten championship, but I tell you what, I'm gonna fight for that playoff, and I'm coming for that playoff.
All you gotta do is get a chance in the dance. And
That's all I need.
Oregon showed us that last year.
4 losses.
12
won the
seed.
national championship.
Yes,
12,
sir.
12 seed. 12 seed.
Yes, sir.
So,
Coach,
that's what I'm thinking right now.
Anything you got left before we let you go?
That's it, man. Look, man, I could do this every week. Hey, man, look.
Hey.
Like I say, I enjoy y'all. You, Kevin, man, y'all doing a beautiful job, man. I enjoy it, and I listen to y'all every Saturday. Every Saturday, man.
Well, we appreciate it, man. All you gotta do is, after you listen to us, make sure you share it on your page, and make sure you make people click like and subscribe, and that way we can just grow the page out more than ever, baby.
That's it. Okay, bet. You got it.
All right, Brandon. I appreciate you, man. Tip of the cap.
No problem.
Have a great one, brother.
Okay, you too. All right.
KG, the greatest producer in the world.
Couple of comments.
We got comments.
Timothy Walker said, "Player birthday drinks at the house around 4 today."
And
go BYU Tigers.
That's not happening, player. I love you to death. That ain't happening today. Oh man. Good guys. I don't even know where we at. I forgot where we left off. That was a great interview.
Yes,
Coach Darnell, I appreciate your time. I know we've been trying to make that work and make it happen. So
and speaking of Xavier,
here you
go Buffaloes.
Here you go. The upside king, David himself. Yo, I gotta give him credit. And when I say him, I'm talking about Xavier. I think he found out what he didn't do well. He learned his strengths and his weaknesses. And let's bring it back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gridiron. I'm the Midnight Rider. We do a recap of a fictitious sports league every week. And most time in this league, we are recapping 3 to 4 weeks. So back to Coach Xavier. He's starting to understand what we were talking about. Like, I know you're probably in his ear the whole time about clock management.
Nope. I say one thing and walk away.
Nah, but because you're a dad. And we say things, but the way we say things means something to our kids. So I've seen him change his demeanor when it comes to clock management. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. So he's figured out something in the middle of that. And the other thing is, like I call y'all, the House of Shanahan's. You like Harry Potter. Y'all have a way of running the football that's unique and is different from everybody else. And there's only 3 teams that run the ball the same way. It's Alabama, Notre Dame, Colorado. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't giving away no trade secrets, but that's how it is. Let's jump into this playoff picture. Because we almost at an hour. All right, let's go. Playoff picture. Ladies and gentlemen, take me up. Here we go. So here we are, year to date in the league. Remember, this isn't the 2024 college football. This is 2025, our league, year 2. What the playoff picture would look like if the league ended or the season ended today. We got North Texas at number 12. They would play number 5, Alabama. At number 9, we got Clemson. At number 8, we got Miami. And memory serves me correctly, I think Miami and Clemson actually played last year in the playoffs. But don't quote me on that. South Carolina's at 6, playing against Michigan. Notre Dame at 7. Notre Dame missed the dance last year. That would be huge if they could stay in that spot or move up, playing Ohio State. Number 4, Kansas State. That's the team that the Buffs, the Colorado team, just upset in Week 10. Oregon would play the winner of the Miami Clemson game. Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a nice product or program because before all of this that happened, they were a school that were probably number 1 and number 2 for 2 or 3 straight years. So you're reaping the benefits of the Jimbo Fisher era when it comes to this team. And then North Carolina at 2, which is shocking. But hey, when you're in the ACC and you get an automatic, like the world is great. The world is your oyster. Let's talk about Maryland not in the playoffs. Hey,
it's only temporary because you got to look at it. Alabama's 5. Alabama's the number one team in the country. K-State is 14.
Right. It's
so this is not official, and K-State is the number 14 team in the country. It normally your top 5 teams get the 1 through. I mean, your top 4 teams get the 1 through 4, and then it falls from there. So Notre Dame should be 6th. I think Maryland should be high. I think Maryland should be 10th, and Michigan should be 11th.
It's going to all play itself out. Like, let's not worry about it right now because, you got the automatics that you got to play out first and foremost, and then everything else comes into play after that.
Okay, go ahead. It's on you.
No, we good. Because now, the biggest thing after that is
everybody's upset with that. It's not official. Remember, I didn't make a bowl.
Last year. Yeah,
I didn't make a bowl game until after everything was played, and then they gave me a pissant bowl.
Yeah, exactly. So, after we finish with the recruiting, with the playoff picture, let's just take a peek at the guys that might be coming into this league next year. Let's talk about how the teams are doing on the recruiting trail. And I think this was a setup because it looks like somebody's at number 1. And the guy at number 1 is the guy that's in producing the show. But we're not going to talk about that. So it looks like Notre Dame has right now scheduled the number 1 recruiting class in the country. It looks like Oregon has the number 5 or 6 class. And it looks like that's the top classes for the guys in the league. It's amazing how somebody was like, yeah, we got to put this stat line up. But I'm not going to talk about that. But it looks like he's got a couple 5 stars, a couple 4s. So he's heavy in the top 2 tiers of this class. And now it's all about player development. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now when we talk about Oregon's defense and their speed, I don't know if his settings are set up for speed, but that team plays at a different speed level than anybody else in the league. I don't care if it's Alabama, Colorado, whoever it is. Like, their defensive speed is special. We already talked to Coach Darnell. We already did the recruiting trail. Don't even worry about it going to the car. That's a pun. I like that pun. Let's hit the Heisman race real quick. And we got to get out of here because we're getting too close to an hour. So here we are. We talked about this kid. You had Coach Darnell on earlier. If you guys saw the show, halfback Michigan. Then we have the linebacker for Oregon, Coach Jimmy Steen, Devon Jackson. And like I've been telling you guys, I know you guys don't always see the YouTubes, and maybe we got to push the YouTube channel. So if you view the show, you can see the teams that play on the show. But yeah, he's a sack machine. Evan Stewart's a playmaker. Justice Haynes is probably one of the best backs in the league, not named Cabana. I called him Carvana, so I apologize. I was thinking about the car place and not the actual running back that plays for Michigan. So I apologize for the mispronunciation of his name. And then there's Jackson Arnold, quarterback for Oklahoma. But I think there's some guys that should be up here. Hagen's in Colorado. I think I got that right. And the running back from Notre Dame should also have some play. But there's a freshman wide receiver at Notre Dame that's also causing some noise. A certain coach recruited the kid and brought him there. And I think he had some people like worried about him and his usage of his wide receivers. So, big guy KG, coach of Notre Dame. Um, any thoughts on your National Player of the Week? I forgot what week it was. You want to give us some insight or tell us something about him? Floor is yours.
Well, when it comes to Zachariah Branch, he's a transfer actually. He's a junior transfer from USC. And it was down to, we said this a couple of weeks ago, it's down to myself and Coach Jimmy at Oregon, who would get him. Wound up snagging him. And at first, it was kind of hard to figure out how to involve him. Then I went in the lab, and I gotta give the coach at Alabama, Dario, I gotta give him some credit for this, because we sat down and we talked. And we talked about not force feeding. And I was like, okay. And we found some plays that really worked. Unfortunately, when I played Alabama 2 weeks later, they didn't work. But I mean, that's cool though. But since that Alabama, you say what?
The Shanahan clan had a open meeting.
Yeah. But since that Alabama game, I've figured out ways to incorporate him into the offense a little bit better. And the last two games, I've played Syracuse and Navy. And I know I was a better team. And I walked into that game with 6 plays. And that's all I ran the whole game, was 6 plays on offense. It's a thin playbook. It's a split vid. It's like Novocaine. Give it time, it'll work. And it worked. Now, this upcoming week, we have FCS West. And I said, all right, it's time to start gearing up. I wanted to take a couple of weeks off, get an offense some time to get their confidence up. Now the confidence is up. Now we got to open up the playbook against FCS West and really, really get things going. So this is a trap game, and I know it's a trap game. So I'm going to run the normal offense, but we're going to run some other things, and I really want to get Zachariah Branch started early. He also has played the last 2 games at punt return.
Okay.
And he already has one that he's taken back to the house and a couple of other big ones. So it's just all the point of getting him incorporated into the scheme of things, but not overloading him to the point where we're risking injury.
Okay. Sounds great, man. Sounds great. Sounds awesome, man. Like I said, folks, you're watching one of the special shows on Facebook, YouTube. It's a fictitious college football show. It's the Sideline Junkies 2025 NCAA Football League. We're on Dynasty Season 2. So if you don't see names that you used to, it's because we've gone past year 1 already. So you're not going to see the Edwards, the guys that went pro. So you're going to see people that are taking their places. So enjoy what we have going on. Like I tell everybody, if you want the smoke, we got the cigar and the lighter. And if you want to just watch the show, just stand up and be accounted for. Because it's the Sideline Junkies. It's in conjunction with Clear Production Sports. KG, you got anything before we go?
The biggest thing that I got is I'm trying to figure out where we can put every game. So I think what I'll start doing is I'll start sharing the games in the Sideline Junkies 24/7 group as they come in, so everybody can see the Gridiron games. And then once you see them, like and subscribe to those different pages, and that way you'll never miss a game.
And that way you'll always be standing up and being accounted for. So I am the Midnight Rider. Shout out to Tony Gonzalez. That's the big guy, KG. I'm told we don't do no overtime, but we are doing some overtime. So I hope it shows on my check. Thank you for coming out. God bless and good night. This is the Gridiron. Thank you for stepping on the field. Good night.